We are Makilala TV, the first Filipino-American TV talk show in the New York metro area. Get to know us as we talk to the community leaders, innovators, advocates, and emerging artists who affect Filipino-American life.
So you're already breaking the mold, right? And blazing new trails, the four of you, in your careers. Yeah. Even before the camera started rolling, you guys, the ladies of Makilala, are trailblazers. Where do you see this show going?
We wanted to present a different segment of the community, the people who talk about their ideas and their opinions.
The people behind the people, I guess.
Yes.
The real stories in the Filipino-American community. And so, do you think this will go global? So not just Queens, not just Long Island, not just New Jersey, but do you think this is something that can really go global as well?
I think it has to. I mean, there's so many Filipinos everywhere. And they have to get the message. They have to get, like, the issues that we talk about.
And your other lives?
Well, I'm sure no one else has this habit of, well, of eating, but I love eating.
Okay.
So
you'd never know it. But
yes, I love eating, and the only way that I could actually afford to eat in New York City every day is through Groupon. So I am definitely, I love coupons.
So I love to walk. I mean, we could walk like 10 miles a day. Just love walking and walking.
And that's something you can do with your family, right? After dinner.
Especially with my husband. He loves to walk. And
it's great couple time.
Especially now that we're turning 50 next year, so you gotta like
Really? How is that possible?
concentrate.
Great, especially that you do that with your husband, that it's fitness and it's time together. We like that.
Yeah, he enjoys it. It's like the time to talk to while you're walking and talk. So that's what we get busy on.
We like that. And lastly?
Aside from looking for Filipino-Americans that I can feature my blog, which is a full-time job in itself, I do ESL. I teach ESL in Chinatown. It's connected with an organization called Chinese Progressive Association. So, one of the questions that we ask our guests is, how is your journey from the Philippines to here?
Right.
So we wanted to bring out that story, that narrative, so that our viewers can find out that, oh, I share the same experience as this person. I left during martial law. So I was a TNT at that point. So we wanted to bring TNT is somebody who's undocumented.
Okay.
And it stands for?
It stands for
Tago
Tago
ng
ng
Tago.
Tago. Yeah.
Tago. So we're well on our way to becoming a mainstream show, yes?
We're hoping.
We're on our way to going global.
One mug at a time.
That was Makilala TV in 2013. We have covered a variety of shows and issues, and we have gone global. Rachelle Ocampo still loves to eat and wears multiple hats. Rachelle is the Associate Director of Development at Charles B. Wang Community Health Center, a very active leader in the Filipino community. Rachelle is the newly elected NaFFAA's New York State Executive Director. She is also one of the founders of Race Pinay, board member of Roots of Health, and a delegate of Filipro and board of trustee of Unipro. Cristina Pastor has been living in Beijing since early 2019. She's the founder of Film online magazine and newspaper. Cristina delights in listening to the Filipino diaspora story. Life in Beijing has been quieter for Cristina as the country slowly opens up after the outbreak of the deadly coronavirus. She looks forward to resuming her Chinese and art classes at the same time that she is working as an English language teacher. She also works at the tech company that makes video sharing apps. The curiosity and learning never end for Makilala TV's co-founder. I am a mom of 5, counting my son-in-law, and as a fitness professional during the pandemic, I felt the need to help others stay healthy at home. Since the lockdown, I host free live stream fitness classes 5 days a week, 2 sessions a day. I still enjoy my daily walks with my husband, although our average is about 2 miles on weekdays, miles on weekends. The goal is to make time for a happy, simple life. I am Jen here, Makilala TV's 7th-year anniversary episode. So ladies, can you believe that? It's been 7 years.
Yeah. Congratulations to all of us.
Yeah.
It's funny that one of the questions of Gail was, do you see yourself going global?
Yes.
We like Channel 5.
I know, we are global.
We are global. Who knew that would happen? I never knew.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of things have changed. I mean, and the similarities, Rachelle, you still love to eat, and now you're,
Rachelle is now eating for two. You have to mention.
Yes, and it's so strange, like with the couponing, it's not Groupon anymore. Now it's Amazon. It's that comes through.
And then Cristina was doing Chinese, teaching, right, in Chinatown, and now guess where you are?
I was teaching English in Chinatown. I am now teaching English in Beijing.
I know. And I still do my walk, but not 10 miles. So. But before we continue with our kwentuhan, let's hear from our guests and their questions. Let's start with Dr. Laura and Fernando Nanding of Fiesta America.
Hello, Makilala TV.
Happy anniversary.
We have a question for you.
Why Makilala TV?
How did you start?
And what inspired you?
Oh, okay. So I think I'll take that on because it has a little bit of history. Thank you, Nanding and Laura, for your question. Makilala started in 2013 when I met this very talented lady who was the Queen's public access producer for Queen's Public Television. Her name is Maricor Fernandez, and we became very good friends. We became fast friends. And while we were talking, we had this spontaneous combustion of ideas. Let's do a talk show with 4 co-hosts, something like The View. We're not shy about admitting that the seed of the idea came from The View. Of course, the topics and the way we express ourselves are very Filipino. So we got 3 very visible women to co-host. At the time, Rachelle was still with Unipro, Jen was still with Aldef, and Maria Lee, one of the original co-hosts, was with Moya, and I was with Philam, and Maricor was with QPTV. We thought it was a very strong, solid team because we were all well plugged into the community. We were all opinionated and we had ideas of our own. So the name of the show, Makilala, came from Maria Lee. Our first guest was Ryan Latada of Next Day Better. It was very nice of him to do a dry run and then the taping with us. And then Maricor and Maria stepped down from their roles for professional, personal reasons, and we were saddened by their departure. But we are just so grateful to MNN, Manhattan Neighborhood Network, for giving us a new home. And we will always be thankful to Zenaida Mendez, the director of MNN's El Barrio Firehouse Community Media Center, for seeing the potential in Makilala. We have been with MNN for about 6 years now, and we are very happy here.
It's interesting how we adapt to changes. I mean, we went from one studio to another, and then we're growing, and then we went global. And then now with the pandemic, we're doing Zoom taping. It's we're what do you call it? We're resilient.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I still remember the time when Cristina messaged me and asking if I was interested in doing Makilala or and I was like, no, I don't like to share my opinions. I'm fine. And at that time I was juggling a lot of different
That's right, yeah.
I was like, no, I can no, I don't want to be on TV. But, yeah, you really convinced me to really understand that it's not just about being on camera, but it's really the overall vision of raising the profile of Filipinos.
Yeah. It's really about talking about the issues within the community. And one of the things about Makilala that's really striking is that we talk about issues that other organizations kind of shy away from talking about, like the trans community. We talked about problems, divorce, we talked about suicide. These are things that we don't normally talk about openly, but now we put it out on television through our show. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, let's hear another question from Ambassador Testa Vega, all the way from Germany.
Hello, Makilala TV. Happy birthday, happy anniversary to the entire team. From me here in Berlin, this is Ambassador Dizon-De Vega. I just wanted to ask, moving forward, how does Makilala TV hope to reach very vulnerable and risk-prone sectors in the Filipino-American community and also in the Asian American community and other ethnic communities there in the U.S. So I hope you have a very meaningful celebration, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Ambassador, for that question. I really feel like that it's more of holding ourselves accountable of how to tell these stories. We won't know any of these issues and concerns of the community unless people start telling us that there's a story to be told. So I feel that we should definitely be reaching out more to community organizations who are on the ground with the most vulnerable Phil-Ams in the community, groups that serve those who have issues with housing, with unsafe job conditions, accessing quality health care. These are the groups that we really need to be more mindful of bringing onto the stage. Yes, we love hearing about people's successes, and anyone who's successful makes the whole community successful. So I feel that we have that potential and opportunity to do that on Makilala, identifying more of those grassroots organizers who are really trying to bring those conditions live, and telling people that this is an issue that's important to the community. So we've had people come in for Makilala doing like gun violence, Black Lives Matter, whether it be unsafe job conditions like for Damayan or NAFCON, even Unipro. There's a lot more that we can definitely do.
Yeah, I think as Cristina mentioned earlier, that we also talked about issues that nobody really talked about, especially gender identity. We did human trafficking. But Rachelle, you're right. We have to figure out how to reach out to other people, and hopefully they'll be brave enough to come in and share their story. I mean, Cristina, you're in that. You take everybody's stories almost every week. You have a story. So how do we reach them?
No, I just wanted to add, I think one of the plans we made early on was to bring Makilala outside of the studio and go on location. And one of the things that we talked about was visiting the elderly in their homes, visiting people in the hospitals, remember? And visiting immigration jails, things like that. So that since they kind of come to us, we wanted to go to them. But then personal developments got in the way. I left for Beijing. COVID happened. Rachelle is pregnant. So those things are momentarily put on hold, but it's an objective that we've always wanted to pursue at some point.
Great job, ladies. Okay, so let's hear the next question from Dr. Leilani Crane.
Hi, during this time when so many of us in the U.S. are, because of quarantine, being separated from our families, I think about family members who have, for reasons of finances, been separated from parents, relatives, children, in order to work abroad and send money home. And I'm thinking that Filipino-Americans can have some useful tips on how to weather these sorts of separations. Thank you.
I mean, I have family members who are everywhere. I have found a lot of family members in the Philippines. And thankfully, with the technology, I mean, Facebook is accessible in the Philippines. They don't have to pay extra data, and you could talk to them every day, video chatting. And then there's still remittance companies. We just sent money back there because everything is closed. They have no way of having income. So we just sent money over to the Philippines, and there was a way for them to pick it up. So there's still hope. I mean, there's Western Union, money transfer, and there are a lot. You just have to be careful when you send money that it's legitimate and established institution. And then you have to always connect, because being at home and seeing the same view every time could really mess up somebody's mind, And especially in the Philippines, they can't just go outside. Only one person can be outside. And even us here, I'm not, we have families in different states. Connection is very important. Just picking up the phone and saying, hello, how are you doing? How do you feel? I mean, we have to keep that going. And if you're feeling sad, watch a Makilala TV episode. We have episodes in different categories. We even have episodes on sex. Can you believe that?
Yeah, for me, I mean, this is not just having family in the Philippines, but really just close here at home, being separated with our family members and our friends. I mean, I'm separated from my husband right now, because physically every week, I really, it's been challenging, honestly. I look forward to our nightly FaceTime before I go to bed, and I tell him how active the baby is. And it's really sad, not being able to have that expectation that we were supposed to do this together, and we're doing it together. But it's a different way that we're getting through this COVID crisis. So what I do is I focus on identifying my support system and keeping busy, but also not feeling pressured to join every Zoom meeting and webinar and focus on like what will make me happy at the end of the day. Because there's so much Zoom and events that are happening now. So
many invitations, yes.
What about you, Cristina? You still have family in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, my daughter's in Philly. We connect every night. By Facebook, by email, and that's it. We're keeping connected.
Yeah, I miss my kids so much. I miss being able to hug them. I mean, we even had to do a Zoom renewal of vows, and that was really nice, though. That was
beautiful. I saw the photos.
Yeah, that was something to remember. It was great. Yeah, I guess as I said, we have to adapt to the changes. Okay, we have one last question from Dr. Laura and Nanding Mendez.
Hello, Makilala TV.
Happy anniversary.
I have a question for you.
The Filipinos are fond of galas and social gatherings.
With our current situation, things have changed.
What is your vision of the new normal when it comes to Filipino-American gatherings?
Let me take on that. Thank you again, Nanding and Laura. Personally, I can't imagine the Filipino community not dressing up for galas and fundraisers and parades. But for now, we are taking a break from all that. Looks like one of the biggest casualties of COVID is the frivolity around us and the unnecessary parties. There will still be fundraisers and meetings and organizing, and a lot of that will be conducted through Zoom. So the consulate will probably be very quiet these days in the coming months. I also don't see any major concerts happening anytime soon or medical missions. But I'm very confident that because we are Filipinos, we are very resourceful, we are very inventive and creative, we will find new ways to communicate and collaborate meaningfully during this time. I don't know what that is, or I don't know what form that will take, but we will think of something.
Yeah, I think it will take time for us to transition back into large gatherings. I know it's going to happen. It's just it's going to take time. We are naturally such a social group, and we crave those in-person physical connections, and of course dressing up. So I'd like to say it will be a new temporary normal for more groups to have more virtual gatherings, which is what we're naturally doing now. I just saw, like, I think it was a Philippine Independence Day parade. They're going virtual.
Really?
Yeah.
That's right.
Like, how do you even? What do you do? I don't understand. How do you do?
Somebody dresses up in a terno at home. How does that happen?
But I saw someone did a drive-in concert, so maybe we could do something like that, like a big place, and then just have a big stage, and everybody just drive in and watch the concert that way.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that what Cristina said, it's forcing us to be resourceful. We are such a creative community. I'm sure that we find ways to keep each other engaged and informed. There's so many of these know your rights webinars and how to prepare yourself for certain situations. So yeah, I feel like that it's going to be our temporary new normal, and that we'll get through it. It's a challenging change and transition right now.
But I think when the vaccine comes out, then we'll be a little bit more normal, you think?
That's if people are willing to take it. Yes.
Yeah.
So ladies,
experience the social distancing has done something to our brains. Like there's some people I know who really distrust being around strangers, even if it's in a safe environment. So there is a certain amount of, you still want to keep your distance. In fact, here in China, we are told that we can now start not wearing our masks, but people are still wearing masks. That's a new development. I just read about it today. Yeah,
that's good hope. I mean, that means that we're starting to go on what used to be normal. Wow, ladies, right. Where do you think
it will take a while? I see it will take a couple of years, I think, because psychologically it has really done something to us.
I kind of like it though, because the social distancing, because now I get to see Cristina every so often doing Zoom with us, the taping. We didn't have to wait for you to come back from China. Well, so ladies,
those are concerts. To those who miss our local talent, they're doing their own karaoke singing on Zoom, right?
Oh, nice.
They're doing their own show. They're doing their own thing, and I think they're collecting donations too, which is good. But I hope they will keep doing it, because so we don't have to miss the likes of Angel Ram or Gio Rebucas and Kirby Asunto and all the others. You know,
like Rachelle said, we are very resourceful. So we'll figure out a way to do the things that we love to do. So ladies, where do you think we see Makilala in 10 years?
I think we will still continue to do what we're doing now. We are already global. What is the next goal? What else? We will see us reformatting. I don't know. We will think of other ways to bring the show in a livelier format, maybe. But will it still be the three of us? I hope so.
You don't see yourselves passing the torch to the next generation?
I'm sorry, Jen, I didn't get that.
You don't see passing the torch to the next generation of Makilala TV, ladies?
Oh, why not? Why not? We have to look for younger people to take over. Oh my God. That is so sad.
I was hoping you'd say no. No, we have to keep it among us.
For me, what I hope to see is that we're going to be more on the ground. While I love the studio and it brings that that realness of taping, I feel like that if we have more capacity, we could be really more on the ground, so that we
that's right, yeah,
can be there at, like you said, people's homes and the hospital.
Yeah. That is one of our plans. I remember we had that meeting. Yeah. And the only issue that was raised there was that we were actually thinking of buying a camera, remember? So we can make that happen. Yeah. Remember, Rachelle?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I have my selfie light tripod thing, so we
that's right.
just need this this quarantine to be over so we could go on houses. Yeah, that is my hope, is that we're more on the ground.
That's right.
I think we're getting better every decade or every 5 years or 7 years. I mean, this year we got census. We talk about census, and we are getting more involved. And
let me ask you. Oh, sorry, Jen.
Go ahead.
I wanted to ask, what is the most memorable episode for both of you?
Oh, I think the day it was your episode, Cristina, and I sabotaged it. You guys didn't know that
was my memorable episode too.
I didn't plan it. I wasn't sure. I was kind of like all of a sudden, so like, oh my God, but it was cathartic for me. I needed that. I needed to be able to share. But sorry, I sabotaged your lead hosting that day. But that was my most memorable episode.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was not actually in mine was not in the studio, but really off studio, when we did like our sex episode in like sangria. I feel like that we should bring that sangria portion back. I'd love to do that.
That's right.
And I don't know how much more time we have on the episode, but I remember is the same.
I remember that episode because we were talking about our experiences, but we would always preface our statement with, according to my friend. Remember?
I know. I have a friend who did this. I think we should revisit that episode, and
let's not revisit that episode.
So any lasting words, Cristina, Rachelle?
Oh, I would say we will still be around 7-10 years from now, and please continue to keep watching.
Yeah, I feel that this platform, Makilala TV, is not just for us three. It's really for the community. So we serve you. If you have a story, please let us know, message us. That's why we're here. We want to raise up the Filipino-American community. So
that's it for today. I know we all feel like we could go on forever. To all friends and supporters of Makilala TV and to the production team of Manhattan Neighborhood Network, thank you. We wouldn't make it this far without your guidance and faith in what we do. To our viewers, maraming salamat po for inviting us to your homes. Remember that we are here for you. We want you to get to know us. We want to get to know you. Share your stories, your experiences, and your ideas. This is Jen here. Until next time, sa ulitin here at Makilala TV.